What exactly makes Snake Eyes the best deck in the current format? And what are some common choke points in the deck? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, guys. My name is Winster. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit that notification bell. That way you guys could stay up to date with all the content that does drop on this channel. Be sure to check out the description box. I do have a lot of other platforms you guys could check out. Very active Discord, very active Twitter and Twitch. And last but not least, I got a TikTok. Be sure to follow me on those platforms. I would really appreciate it. I'm super close to hitting 1,000 on TikTok, so I would appreciate any kind of support there. But let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. In order to beat Snake Eyes, you have to understand Snake Eyes and what the deck is trying to accomplish. In today's video, we're going to be talking about standard Snake Eyes combos and what are some of the choke points. Some of the cards that they're playing in terms of tech cards, maybe counters, hand traps, and where you should be laying your hand traps versus the deck. If you guys are enjoying this type of content, guys, please be sure to leave it in the comment section. I'm always growing, always developing, and I will always love your guys' feedback, and I appreciate it wholeheartedly. So what I have in front of me are two types of cards. We got the 1.5 card starter. That means they need this card and another card in order to start their full combo. And then we got the 1 card starters. Let's go ahead and go over some ratios, what they usually play. Mostly in Pure, they play more than 1 original Sinful Spoils, but Snake Eye Fire King usually just play the 1. In both builds, they play 3 Wanted, and in both builds, they play more than 1 Black Witch. In Pure, they play 3, and Snake Eye Fire King, they play 2. For the 1 card starters, in Pure, they play 3 copies of Poplar. Fire King, Snake Eye, they play just the 2. In both, they play 3 Snake Eye Ash, and in both, they play 3 Bonfire. Now, what exactly do these cards do? Poplar searches any Snake Eye spell or trap, so it's going to search Original Sinful Spoils or the Field spell. Snake Eye Ash is going to search any level 1 fire. The typical target is going to be Poplar if you normal summon this thing. If it's special summon, they're probably going to search the Ponic. And then the Bonfire, usually going to just search the Poplar. Original Sinful Spoils, this could definitely branch off, and this is what makes Fire King so strong. They're going to summon the Snake Eye Ash, or they're going to summon the Poplar, or they could summon Jet Synchron, or they could summon Ponix. And then Wanted only searches out the Diabellstar, and then the Diabellstar searches out the Original Sinful Spoils. So there are multiple ways to get into the Original Sinful Spoils, but these two roughly are the same card because this gets you into that, this gets you into that. Okay, now this is some of the non-engine that the deck is playing, guys. Now keep in mind, my build is very different from a lot of builds, but you also have to take into consideration the meta, the format, your local. Everyone plays different hand traps. These are just the ones that I'm playing, so that's why we're using these. I think the 2 best hand traps that is phenomenal against Snake Eye right now is Droll and Nibiru, right? They summon like crazy, they search like crazy. These literally stop the deck in its tracks. The players are fully aware of that, so that's why they're combating it using the Crossout Designator to just cross out these cards and be able to still play. The Ash Blossom in Imperm, Effect Veiler, Moonlight Chill, those are all very powerful cards, but it's going to take more than just a couple hand traps to stop a deck. And since people are playing so many hand traps right now, a lot of players are playing Triple Tactics Talons because they want to be able to at least stop the next hand trap that the opponent has, or just get information on your opponent's hand on what they're able to play. They could rip out a starter. The list could go on what you could do with Talons, but that's what it's typically being used, and that's how I use it, at least, because you just have so many options with this deck. Now, I'm not saying this is how every hand is going to look like, but this is a pretty common hand for the strategy, especially when you're playing 3-ofs. Now, you're asking yourself, where exactly do I hand trap? Realistically, you don't hand trap until maybe the most crucial time, especially going against this kind of deck. Now, I said it in the past, right? Like, ashing like Bonfire is pretty impactful. You have to take into consideration that the deck just has so many extenders in order to play, and they have a lot of counters for your hand traps. So let's say if I start off with using Bonfire, right? I still have a full combo with Ash, and again, that happens all the time when you open one of each. And let's say my opponent uses Ash Blossom, and you just have the ability to cross out Designator. And on top of that, I'll be able to activate Talons on Resolution to look at their hand to make sure they don't have any other card that's going to mess up my play. I have said it before, and looking back on it, it's a little bit cringe. Do not Ash the Bonfire. I think there are much more better options in allowing your opponent to commit a little bit more. So let's go ahead and fast forward the combo, and I'll show you two very important choke points with the deck. Let's say they commit the normal summon at this point, right? They only use Bonfire, and Bonfire got them the whole Fire King line. What do you do to the Ash? Do you Ash it? So let's talk about the typical targets. Again, I'm talking about Fire King Snake Eyes here. So the targets are Oak, maybe in a more pure version, Formula Synchron. If they didn't go into the Ponix earlier, they're going to search the Ponix, but that makes no sense because they're not going to be able to normal summon or normal summon. So realistically, the only real option is the Poplar, and they won't even be able to summon it because they already use it off of the Bonfire. In that type of situation, it's not worth it just ashing this. Let's say that they didn't have the Bonfire, and let's say that they didn't have any of this, and they just committed the normal summon with the Ash. Well, that's the strength of the deck, right? They don't have to commit such things. They don't have to commit to the normal summoning of the Ash because of Bonfire. Bonfire does so much for the deck. In my personal opinion, if your opponent commits to the Ash, activating the effect to search, I think it is fair game to actually Ash, or better yet, Imperm, because Imperm will stop the other effect from activating, but they wouldn't have any other card to face up, and they already had committed so much already. So in my opinion, I think this is a perfect example of a choke point. If they commit the Ash, I think it's fair to Ash, right? If they normal summon this thing. So let's fast forward a bit in the combo, and let me show you another choke point. Here is another choke point of the deck. So let's say our opponent does the Winmore combo, and they end up activating the Ash effect, and then going into Oak. So the only other option that they have to go into is the Flamberge. Now, Flamberge single-handedly is the best card in this deck. It does so much for it, gives it so much consistency. I think it is a perfect place to activate Imperm, to activate Nibiru, to activate Effect Veiler, to activate all the cards to prevent the Flamberge from coming out, or stopping the field before the Flamberge comes out. That way they don't get all the resources off of the Flamberge. So if you are saving anything, right, save the Ash or the Effect Veiler for the Oak. Perfect place. But just keep in mind, right, off of that Ash effect, they could go into Oak or Flamberge. You just have to read the field, right? Are they going to do the win more combo, or are they going to stick to the standard line and just bring Flamberge instead of Oak? So we fast forward all the way to the end of the combo, guys. So let's talk about the graveyard, right? So we got Garunix that could trigger when any fire monster is destroyed. We got Promethean Princess that triggers when your opponent special summons. Ponix, Ash, Poplar, Arvada that we could potentially summon, get the trigger off of Garunix. We pop the Karen summon this, pop a card, and then we have a negate. And then we got follow-up for next turn. And then our field, the easy way to trigger the Garunix is the Island, because of course we're going to have a fire monster in our hand, right? Because we added the Oak, worst case scenario. And then our field is looking like this. This is in the Spell and Trap zone. I'm sorry you can't see it, the glare is too crazy, but it's IP Masquerena. This could also be on the main field at our opponent's end phase, but the typical spot is in the Spell and Trap zone. We got Flamberge, and then we got Ambler Whale. Ambler Whale pops a card anytime a level 3 Link or lower monster is destroyed, but it has to be in the graveyard, and it banishes its cost. So if you're waiting to nib your opponent at any point in time, I think this is absolutely the best place. You want to clear out any fire monster your opponent has, right? And we want to do it on their turn before they could activate the Flamberge, summon the Masquerena, and then be able to link into Apple, right? Definitely a good thing to do beforehand. Clearing out the fire monsters on your opponent's side of field will leave the Promethean Princess a dead card in the graveyard because they need to target a fire monster that they control and something on your field when you special summon. Yes, you won't be able to maybe stop the follow-up because you just have so much follow-up, right? Like they have everything in the graveyard that I mentioned, and they have the Oak, you know, and on top of that, they'll have like hand traps. So this is a perfect place to Nibiru. So those were some of my tips on how to beat the Fire Nation. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think I went into enough detail? Do you want more detail? Do you guys want to see more of this type of content in the future? Let me know in the comment section, guys, because I had a couple requests about breaking down how to fight this deck because it's so good right now. But let me know in the comment section, guys. And again, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell while you're down there. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Winsor. You guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out, guys.